Chapter 2 Parts of Speech. Let's brush up. We know that a sentence is a group of words. Sentences cannot take shape without these words, since sentences help in speech, whatever we speak or write. These types of words are called parts of speech. The parts of speech are noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. Identifying a noun. Naming words are called nouns. Naming words are the words which have names like arpit, tataj, ball, lamb, carrot, bee, vegetable, fruit, madurai, woman, cattle, building, kite, thing, etc. How do nouns work? Nouns have several important jobs. Since it's impossible to list them all here, we will go about the most important functions nouns are tasked with. Nouns are subjects. Every sentence has a subject, a noun that tells us what that sentence is all about, such as Lavish swayed the bat. Nouns are direct object. These nouns take action from the verbs such as Lavish swayed the bat in action. Nouns are indirect objects. These nouns take the direct object, such as Bhanu threw Lavish the ball. Nouns are objects of prepositions. These nouns track the preposition in prepositional phrases, such as Lavish swayed the ball at Karan. Nouns are predicate nominatives. These nouns track helping verbs and rename the subject, such as Lavish is a cricket player. Nouns are object complements. These nouns complete the direct object, such as Lavish named his bat Vajra. Types of nouns. Abstract nouns. Abstract nouns refer to ideas, concepts, emotions, and other things we can't physically interact with. We can't see, taste, touch, smell, or hear something named with an abstract noun. Some abstract nouns examples are his hatred of people snorting is legendary. She has an unbelievable love for nature. This is of some importance to mother. He received a rebuke for his cowardice. Collective nouns. A collective noun refers to a group. It can be either singular or plural, but is usually used in the singular. Some collective noun examples are our team is enjoying the victory. There's a pack of hyenas outside the colony. Beware of the swarm of bees. Haven't you noticed the herd of wild horses? Our class will graduate next year. Common nouns. Common nouns are used to refer to general things rather than specific examples. Common nouns are not normally capitalized unless they are used as a part of proper name or are placed at the beginning of a sentence. Some common noun examples are he is determined to pick a top university. My dog doesn't bark for nothing. Would you like a biscuit with your coffee? Boys are active. Concrete nouns. Concrete nouns are words used for actual things we can touch, see, taste, feel, and hear, things we interact with in daily life. Concrete nouns can also be countable, uncountable, common, proper, and collective nouns. Some concrete noun examples are please don't forget to buy apples. Would you mind pushing that chain? Where did you keep my book? Compound nouns. Compound nouns are two or more words that form a noun. Occasionally, compound nouns are one word like classroom, words joined by a hyphen, father-in-law, or as separate words, homework. Examples of compound nouns are have you seen my sunglasses? We will go to the waterfall on Sunday. Forms of nouns. Nouns can be in the subjective, nominative, possessive, genitive, and objective, accusative case. The word case defines the role of the noun in the sentence, whether is it a subject, an object, or does it show position. Look at the examples. The English teacher subject is slim. They chose the English teacher object. The English teacher's possessive car is white. Nouns in the subject and object role are same in form. Nouns that show the possessive, however, take a different form. Usually an apostrophe is added followed by the letters except for plurals which take the plural s ending first and then add the apostrophe. Practically all nouns change form when they become plural, usually with the simple addition of an, s or es. Unfortunately, it's not always that easy. Making plurals from singulars. Most nouns make their plurals by adding s to their singulars such as toy, toys, table, tables, lamb, lambs. Some nouns take es to make their plurals such as class, classes, dress, dresses, box, boxes. Nouns ending with y make their plurals differently. Y is replaced with I and es is added to them such as fly, flies, city, cities, lily, lilies. Sometimes f is replaced with v and es is added to them such as calf, calves, thief, thieves, leaf, leaves. Then sometimes vowels of the words are changed such as tooth, teeth, woman, woman, goose, geese. Some nouns are changed to plurals differently such as child, children, ox, oxen. Some nouns are identical in their plural and singular forms such as sheep, sheep, series, series, news, news. Pronouns. Pronoun is defined as a word or phrase in grammar that may be substituted for a noun or noun phrase. Which one replaced is known as the pronoun's antecedent. How does this happen? Because pronouns can do everything that nouns can do. A pronoun can perform as a subject, direct object, indirect object, object of the preposition, and more. Without pronouns, we would have to keep on repeating nouns, and that would make our speech and writing repetitive, not to mention cumbersome. Most pronouns are very short words. Examples include he, she, they, it, we, who, etc. Types of pronouns. Pronouns can be divided into numerous categories including indefinite pronouns. These refer to one or more unspecified objects, beings, or places. Personal pronouns. These are associated with a certain person, thing, or group, all except we have distinct forms that indicate singular or plural number. Reflexive pronouns. These are preceded by adverb, adjective, pronoun, or noun, in which they refer and end in self or selves. Demonstrative pronouns. These pronouns are used to highlight something specific within a sentence. Possessive pronouns. These pronouns designate possession or ownership. Relative pronouns. These pronouns refer to nouns mentioned previously, acting to introduce an adjective relative clause. Interrogative pronouns. These pronouns introduce a question. Reciprocal pronouns. These pronouns express mutual actions or relationship, that is, one another. Intensive pronouns. Pronouns ending in self or selves and that serve to emphasize their antecedents. Pronoun rules. There are a few important rules for using pronouns. Notice how the pronoun rules are followed. Subject pronouns may be used to begin sentences. For example, we did a great job. Subject pronouns may also be used to rename the subject. For example, it was she who decided we should go to Jaipur. Indefinite pronouns don't have antecedents. They are capable of standing on their own. For example, no one likes the sound of nails on a mobile screen. Object pronouns are used as direct objects. indirect objects, and objects of prepositions. These include you, me, him, her, us, them, and it. For example, driver talked to him about the mistake. Possessive pronouns show ownership. They do not need apostrophes. For example, the dog washed its paws. List of pronouns: I, we, me, us, you, she, he, her, him, they, them, it, that, which, who, whom, whose, whichever, whoever, whomever, this, these, that, those, anybody, anyone, anything, each, either, everyone, everybody, everything, nobody, neither, no one, nothing, somebody, one, someone, something, few, many, both, several, any, all, some, most, none, myself, yourself, ourselves, yourselves, herself, himself, themselves, itself, who, what. Cases of personal pronouns. Case refers to the form a word takes and its function in a sentence. The English language has three cases: subjective, nominative, possessive, and objective, accusative. Many indefinite pronouns and it and you have distinctive forms only for the possessive case. For most nouns and indefinite pronouns, the form is indicated by an apostrophe, such as Simran's coat, state's powers, someone's house, another's task. For it, the possessive is formed by adding s. For you, the possessive is formed by adding r or rs in the word. Note: never use an apostrophe to form a possessive for it, you, or the personal pronouns given below. 6 personal pronouns have a characteristics form for each of the three cases. Subjective: I, we, he, she, who, and they are the forms used for subjects and subject complements. For example, subjects: He and I were good friends. We grew up together. They lived next door. Who teaches that course? Complements of the subject: The ones responsible are Lovely and Leena. It is I, Drishti, that's who. Possessive: My, mine, our, ours, his, her, hers, their, theirs, and whose are the forms used to show ownership. For example, before noun: My bike not punctured. Our boat broke. His dog is smart. Whose work is that? Possessors in the noun position: Mine is blue. Ours is right here. His looks heavy. Hers was the last in line. Theirs sank yesterday. Whose will be chosen? Objective: Me, us, him, her, them, and whom are the forms to be used as objects of the verbs or prepositions. For example, Drac likes me. Alora drove to the town to meet us. For him, this is no problem. Sarika wanted her to leave. Milan was introduced to them. Finding whom I was looking for, I returned to my heavenly abode. Adjectives. Let's look into it. Adjectives are words that term or modify other words, making the writing and speaking much more specific and a whole lot more interesting. Words like small, blue, and sharp are descriptive, and they all are examples of adjectives. Since adjectives are used to identify or quantify individual people and unique things, they are generally positioned before the noun or pronoun that they modify. Some sentences contain multiple adjectives. Types of adjectives. Adjectives can modify as well as describe other words, and it is much easier to identify different types of adjectives. Possessive adjectives. As the name indicates, possessive adjectives are used to show possession. They are my, yours, his, her, its, our, their. Possessive adjectives also function as possessive pronouns. Demonstrative adjectives. Like the article the, demonstrative adjectives are used to show or validate specific people, animals, or things. These, those, this, and that are demonstrative adjectives. For example, these books belong to the Tilak library. This movie is my favorite. Please place those cookies on the silver plate. Coordinate adjectives. Coordinate adjectives are separated with commas or the word and appear one after another to modify the same noun. The adjectives in the phrase bright, sunny day and long and dark night are coordinate adjectives. In phrases with more than two coordinate adjectives, the word and always appears before the last one. For example, the sign had big, bold, and bright letters. Some adjectives that appear in a series are not coordinate. In the phrase blue delivery truck, the words blue and delivery are not separated by a comma because blue modifies the phrase delivery truck. Numbers adjectives. Numbers are almost always adjectives when they are used in sentences. We can tell that a number is an adjective when it answers the question how many. For example, the tractor trolley was pulled by a team of 9. He ate 3 dozens of bananas during the contest and was sick afterwards. Interrogative adjectives. There are 3 interrogative adjectives which, what, and whose. Like all other types of adjectives, interrogative adjectives modify nouns. All 3 of these words are used to ask questions. For example, which dress appealed to you? What time should we go? Whose socks are stinking? Indefinite adjectives. Like the articles a and an, indefinite adjectives are used to discuss non-specific things. We can recognize them as they are formed of indefinite pronouns. The most common indefinite adjectives are any, many, no, several, and few. For example, do we have any salt butter? My father has been retired for many years. There are no purple berries in the fruit bowl. I usually read a few comments about a book before buying it. I went through several books looking for the information I needed. Attributive adjectives. Attributive adjectives talk about specific traits, qualities, or features. In fact, they are used to discuss characteristics. There are different kinds of attributive adjectives. Observation adjectives such as real, perfect, best, interesting, beautiful, or cheapest can indicate value or talk about subjective measures. Size and shape adjectives talk about measurable, adjective qualities including specific physical properties. Some examples include small, large, square, round, poor, wealthy, slow. Age adjectives denote specific ages in numbers as well as general ages. Examples are old, young, new, 5-year-old. Color adjectives are exactly what they sound like. They are adjectives that indicate color. Examples include pink, yellow, blue. Origin adjectives indicate the source of the noun, whether it's a person, place, animal, or thing. Examples include American, Canadian, Mexican, French. Material adjectives denote what something is made of. Some examples include cotton, gold, wool, and qualifier adjectives are often regarded as part of a noun. They make nouns more specific. Examples include log cabin, luxury car, and pillow. Degree of comparison. We already know that there are 3 degrees of comparison: positive, comparative, and superlative. The comparative form. We use the comparative form of an adjective to compare two people or things. The comparative form is usually made by adding er to the adjectives. The superlative form. When we compare 3 or more people or things use the superlative form of an adjective. The superlative form is usually made by adding est to the adjective. Let's understand. Adjective, comparative form, the superlative form. Dark, darker, darkest. Hard, harder, hardest. Light, lighter, lightest. Warm, warmer, warmest. High, higher, highest. Cold, colder, coldest. Low, lower, lowest. Fast, faster, fastest. Old, older, oldest. Slow, slower, slowest. Young, younger, youngest. Rich, richer, richest. Poor, poorer, poorest. Soft, softer, softest. Note, the article the is often used before the superlative form. For example, a bird is small, a bee is a smaller, but an ant is the smallest. The comparative form than is often used to compare two things or people. For example, we say, Reena is taller than Rani. A moped is faster than a bicycle. We use more and most to compare most other two-syllable adjectives. We also use more and most with all adjectives that have more than two syllables. Adjectives, comparative, superlative. Precious, more precious, most precious. Exciting, more exciting, most exciting. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. Comfortable, more comfortable, most comfortable. Difficult, more difficult, most difficult. Delicious, more delicious, most delicious. Verbs. Let's look into it. Verb is a very important part of a sentence. Verb is used to show that an action is taking place. For example, Neha tennis, Arun flowers, Reena a story, Silky to school. Do these sentences make sense? Let's understand. Neha plays tennis. Arun buys flowers. Reena writes a story. Silky goes to school. All the highlighted words are verbs missing in the sentences A, B, C and D. These words in the sentence 1, 2, 3 and 4 tell what Neha, Arun, Reena and Silky do. Types of verbs. We can divide verbs into transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs. These verbs involve a direct object. For example, Minnie tosses the ball. Here tosses is the verb and ball is the direct object. Jatin reads the book. Here reads is the verb and door is the direct object. Intransitive verbs. These verbs do not involve a direct object. For example, Minnie boy tosses. Here the verb tosses are used intransitively. Jatin reads quickly. Here the verb reads is used intransitively. List of verbs. Accept, disagree, obey, achieve, drag, offend, add, drive, offer, admire, drop, open, admit, earn, paint, adopt, eat, pay, advise, employ, pick, agree, encourage, play, allow, enjoy, pray, announce, establish, print, appreciate, estimate, pull, approve, exercise, punch, argue, expand, punish, arrive, explain, purchase, ask, fear, push, assist, feel, quit, attack, fight, race, bake, find, read, bath, fly, relax, be, forget, remember, beat, forgive, reply, become, fry, retire, beg, gather, rub, behave, get, see, bet, give, select, boast, glow, sell, boil, greet, send, borrow, grow, sing, breathe, guess, snore, bring, harass, stand, build, hate, stare, burn, hear, start, bury, help, sink, buy, hit, study, call, hope, sweep, catch, identify, swim, challenge, interrupt, take, change, introduce, talk, cheat, irritate, teach, chew, jump, tear, choose, keep, tell, clap, kick, thank, clean, kiss, travel, collect, laugh, type, compare, learn, understand, complain, leave, use, confess, lend, visit, confuse, lie, wait, construct, like, walk, control, listen, want, copy, lose, warn, count, love, wed, create, make, weep, cry, marry, wink, damage, measure, worry, dance, meet, write, deliver, move. Verbals. Participles, gerunds, and infinitives are called verbals. Verbals are words which are formed from a verb but which function as a different part of speech. Participle. A participle is usually formed by adding ing or ed to a verb. It functions as an adjective. For example, the jumping deer was the attraction at the event. The jolly joker was waiting for his partner. Gerund. A gerund is formed by adding ing to a verb. It functions as a noun. For example, Nishu likes trekking. Smoking is prohibited over here. Infinitive. An infinitive is formed by using the word to the verb in its stem word. It functions as a noun, adjective, or adverb. For example, Mahesh was sent to clean the hall. Snigdha reads to learn. Stative verbs. Stative verbs are verbs that describe a position, state, rather than an action. When describing states, they never take the continuous ing form. Some examples of stative verbs and their correct and incorrect usage are given here to know them better. Stative verb. Correct usage. Incorrect usage. Appear. It appears good to buy. It is appearing good to buy. Believe. I believe in God. I am believing in God. Fit. This coat fits me. This coat is fitting me. Hate. I hate hypocrisy. I am hating hypocrisy. Love. I love fruits. I am loving fruits. Like. I like you. I am liking you. Remember. I remember my bad days. I am remembering my bad days. Sound. This music sounds good. This music is sounding good. Auxiliary verb. An auxiliary verb or helping verb accompanies a main verb to help express tense, voice, or mood. The most common auxiliary verbs are be, do, and have in their various forms. Here are some examples of auxiliary verbs. Our pet dog has eaten all the pies. Here, the auxiliary verb has helps to express tense. A table has been prepared. Here, the auxiliary verb has been is used to express voice. In this case, the passive voice. If Nitin were to arrive in the next 15 minutes, we would be on schedule. Here, the auxiliary verb were not would help to express mood. In this case, the subjunctive mood. Modal verb. A modal verb is a type of auxiliary verb used to express ideas such as ability, possibility, permission, and obligation. The modal auxiliary verbs are can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, and would. For example, our pet dog can eat a lot of pies. Here, the modal verb can help to express the idea of ability. Our pet dog might eat that pie before it gets home. Here, the modal verb might helps to express the idea of possibility. Our pet dog may eat as many pies as it likes. Here, the modal verb may helps to express the idea of permission. Our pet dog should give you cat some of that pie. Here, the modal verb should helps to express the idea of obligation. Phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb is a verb made up of more than one word, usually two words. A phrasal verb has a main verb and another word, either a preposition or a particle. The phrasal verb usually has a meaning different to the main verb. For example, a burglar will often break a window to break in. Here the phrasal verb break in means to enter illegally, which is quite different to break. If you drop the baton, the team will drop back to last place. Regular and irregular verbs. A regular verb is one that forms its simple past tense and its past participle by adding ed or d to the base form of the verb. Note, there are spelling rules to consider too. For example, irregular verb, simple past tense, past participle. Love, loved, has loved. Hate, hated, has hated. Move, moved, has moved. An irregular verb is one that does not conform to this ruling. For example, irregular verb, simple past tense, past participle. Tell, told, has told. Bleed, bled, has bled. Adverbs. Let's look into it. An adverb is a word used to modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. For example, Mridul swims quickly. Here, the adverb quickly modifies the verb swims. Sheena swims extremely quickly. Here, the adverb extremely modifies the adverb quickly. Sheba is an extremely quick swimmer. Here, the adverb extremely modifies the adjective quick. When an adverb modifies a verb, it usually tells us when, where, how, in what manner, or to what extent the action is performed. Here are some examples of adverbs modifying verbs. How Mridul ran quickly. When he ran yesterday. Where Mridul ran here. In what manner he ran barefoot. To what extent Mridul ran fastest. In the examples above, each adverb is a single word, but an adverb can be made up of more than one word. For example, how Mridul ran at 10 miles per hour. When he ran when the police arrived. Where he ran to the shops. In what manner Mridul ran like a man possessed. To what extent he ran quicker than me. Follow it. Adverbs can modify adjectives and other adverbs. Although many adverbs end with ly, lots do not. For example, fast, never, well, very, most, least, more, less, now, far, and there. Adverbs modifying verbs. An adverb that modifies a verb usually tells you when, where, how, in what manner, or to what extent the action is performed. NB. The ones that end in ly are usually the ones that tell us how the action is performed. Example, quickly, slowly, carefully, quietly. For example, Vinita placed the instrument carefully on the shelf. The word carefully is an adverb. It shows how the vase was placed. Tiara walks gracefully. The word gracefully is an adverb. It modifies the verb to walk. Mridul runs fast. The word fast is an adverb. It modifies the verb run. You can set your watch by Nihal. He always leaves at 5 o'clock. The word always is an adverb. It modifies the verb to leave. The chief guest arrived early. Here early modifies arrive. Kamini sometimes helps us. Here sometimes modifies helps. Adverbs modifying adjectives. Adverbs can also modify adjectives and other adverbs. Here are some examples of adverbs modifying adjectives. The horridly surreal effigy was undamaged by the debris. The adverb horridly modifies the adjective surreal. Vimal had an extremely ashen face. The adverb extremely modifies the adjective ashen. Badly trained cats that fail the test will become pets. The adverb badly modifies the adjective trained. Note, the adjective trained is an adjective formed from the verb to train. It is called a participle. For example, Sheba wore a beautifully decorated dress. The adverb beautifully modifies the adjective decorated. Adverbs modifying other adverbs. Here are some examples of adverbs modifying adverbs. Mohit finished his assignment remarkably quickly. The adverb quickly modifies the verb to finish. The adverb remarkably modifies the adverb quickly. Kinds of adverbs. Following are the kinds of adverb. Adverbs of manner. Some adverbs and adverb phrases describe the way people do things. These adverbs answer the question how. For example, they reached home safely. Pavni plays the guitar perfectly. Kritika is behaving like a baby. You can buy fruits cheaply in this shop. Adverbs of time. Some adverbs and adverb phrases answer the question when. They are called adverbs of time. For example, we are going to our new home tomorrow. She has already left. It rained heavily last night. The alarm will ring at 3 this morning. Adverbs of place. Some adverbs and adverb phrases answer the question where. They are called adverbs of place. For example, the naughty girls are fighting outside. The ball is kept there. They live in the nearby town. Adverbs of frequency. Some adverbs answer the question how often. They are called adverbs of frequency. For example, one should never lie. The shops are often very busy. The newspaper is delivered daily. We walk home from school every day. I clean my bedroom every week. You should visit the dentist once every 6 months. Adverbs of duration. Some adverbs answer the question how long. They are called adverbs of duration. For example, the shop is temporarily closed. The doctor visited the sick briefly. The dance show lasted for 3 days. Relative adverbs. The relative adverbs where, when, and why can be used to join sentences or clauses. They replace the more formal structure of preposition plus which used to introduce a relative clause. Formal structure of preposition which. More common structure using a relative adverb. That's the park in which we met for the first time. That's the park where we met for the first time. That photo was taken in the park at which I used to play. That photo was taken in the park when I used to play. I recall the day on which we first met. I recall the day when we first met. There was a chilly winter the year in which he was born. There was a chilly winter the year when he was born. Tell me the reason for which you came to park late. Tell me the reason why you came to park late. Do you want to know the reason for which he is angry with me? Do you want to know the reason why he is angry with me? Interrogative adverbs. The interrogative adverbs why, where, how, and when are placed at the beginning of a question. These questions can be answered with a sentence or a prepositional phrase. After an interrogative adverb in a question, you must invert the subject and verb so that the verb comes first. For example, why are you trembling? There was a shadow. How do you fare? I fare fine. Where is my tablet? It is in the drawer. When does the ferry arrive? At 12. Formation of adverbs adjective plus ly. Adjective adverb dangerous dangerously, nice nicely, easy easily, careful carefully, horrible horribly, electronic electronically. Irregular forms. Adjective adverb good well, hard hard, fast fast. If the adjective ends in y, change y to I, then add ly. Happy happily, but shy shyly. If the adjective ends in le, the adverb ends in ly. Terrible terribly. If the adjective ends in e, then add ly. Safe safely. Not all words ending in ly are adverbs. Adjectives ending in ly: friendly, silly, lonely, ugly. Nouns ending in ly: ellie, bully, Italy, melancholy. Verbs ending in ly: apply, rely, supply. Note: there is no adverb for an adjective ending in ly. Prepositions. Let's look into it. A word used before nouns and pronouns to show their relation to another part of a clause is called a preposition. A preposition is a word, usually a short word, that shows the relationship between two other nearby words. For example, read the following phrases. A student from the school. Here the preposition from tells us the relationship between school and student. A cake for the birthday child. Here the preposition for tells us the relationship between cake and birthday child. The words in, on, at, around, above, near, underneath, alongside, of, and for an examples of prepositions. Note: the word preposition means position before. A preposition will sit before a word, a noun, or a pronoun to show that word's relationship to another nearby word. For example, the doctor is with the patient. The flower vase is on the mat. The sun is behind the plants. Parrots are flying over the river. Avinash is pouring tea into the cup. There is a statue upon the raised platform. There is a pear among the fruits. The book is in front of them. All the highlighted words are prepositions. Kinds of prepositions. Prepositions of time. We use at, on, and in as the prepositions of time. We use at to designate specific times. For example, the train is due at 12:15 p.m. We use on a designate days and dates. For example, my mother is coming on Sunday. We are having gathering on the 4th of July. We use in for non-specific times during a day, a month, a season, or a year. For example, she likes to jog in the morning. It's too cold in winter to run outside. He is going to quit in August. We use for and since when we measure time, seconds, minutes, hours, days, months, years. Some examples of use of for are: he held his breath for 7 minutes. She has lived there for 7 years. India and Russia have been enjoying friendship for decades. We use since with a specific date or time. For example, Meena has been sitting in the waiting room since 2:30. Prepositions of place: at, on, and in. We use at for specific addresses too. For example, the company has its office at West End, Mumbai East. We use on to designate names of streets, avenues, etc. For example, Meeta's house is on West End Road. And we use in for the names of land, areas, towns, counties, states, countries, and continents. For example, Dharmendra lives in Mumbai. Prepositions of movement. We use to in order to express movement towards a place. For example, they were driving to work together. She is going to the dentist clinic in the morning. Toward and towards are also helpful prepositions to express movement. These are simply variant spellings of the same word. We use whichever sounds better for you. For example, we are moving towards the light. This is a big step towards the project's completion. With the words home, downtown, uptown, inside, outside, downstairs, upstairs, we use no prepositions. For example, Garima went upstairs. Her mother went home. Both of them went outside. Idiomatic expressions with prepositions. Idiomatic expressions with prepositions include agree to a proposal with a person on a price in principle. Argue about a matter with a person for or against a proposition. Compare to show likenesses with to show differences, sometimes similarities. Correspond to a thing with a person. Differ from an unlike thing with a person. Live at an address in a house or city on a street with other persons. Conjunctions. Let's look into it. Conjunction links two or more than two sentences, clauses, phrases, or words. For example, and, but, or, if. The common conjunctions are and, but, for, or, nor, yet, and so, which join the elements of a coordinate structure. For example, Rima plays tennis, Tina plays tennis. We can write these sentences as Reena and Tina play tennis. Here we have used the conjunction and because both of them are at the same activity. For example, Suruchi is skating, Mohini is skipping. We can write this sentence as Suruchi is skating but Mohini is skipping. Here we have used the conjunction but because both children are doing different activities. So it is clear that we use different conjunctions in different conditions. Kinds of conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions are used to join two parts of a sentence that are grammatically equal. The two parts may be single words or clauses. For example, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. The water was good, but I didn't take a bath. Subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions are used to join a subordinate dependent clause to a main clause. For example, I went swimming although it was cold. Coordinating conjunctions are for and nor, but, or, yet, so, fanboys. Subordinating conjunctions are although, because, since, unless. Form of conjunctions. Conjunctions have three basic formats. Single word. For example, and, but, because, although. Compound, often ending with as or that. For example, provided that, as long as, in order that. Correlative, surrounding an adverb or adjectives. For example, so that. Placing of conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions always come between the words or clauses that they join. Subordinating conjunctions usually come at the beginning of the subordinate clause. Functions of coordinating conjunctions. A coordinating conjunction joins part of a sentence, for example, words or independent clauses that are grammatically equal or similar. A coordinating conjunction shows that the elements it joins are similar in importance and structure. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions and, but, for, nor, or, so, and yet. Look at these examples. The two elements that the coordinating conjunction joins are down in brackets. I like lemon water and fruit juice. Vasu likes fruit juice, but Anamika likes lemon water. Coordinating conjunctions always come between the words or clauses that they join. When a coordinating conjunction joins independent clauses, it is always correct to place a comma before the conjunction. For example, I want to work as a translator in the future, so I am studying French at university. However, if the independent clauses are short and well balanced, a comma is not really essential. Saloni is kind, so she helps people. When and is used with the last word of a list, a comma is optional. He bought paper clips and biscuits. Functions of subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions introduce a dependent clause. These are placed at the front of the clause and a comma is placed at the end of the adverbial phrase when it heads the main clause. For example, If the only tool you have is a knife, you incline to see every problem as a melon. Many people make headlines while a few make history. Look at this example. Main or independent clause. Ram went boxing. Subordinate or dependent clause. Although subordinating conjunctions. It was raining. Note, a subordinating conjunction always comes at the beginning of a subordinate clause. It introduces a subordinate clause. However, a subordinate clause can come after or before a main clause. Thus, two structures are possible, such as Ram went boxing although it was raining. Although it was raining, Ram went boxing. Correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions are used in pairs to link equivalent elements in a sentence. The most common ones are either, or, neither, nor, not only but also, so as. Examples of correlative conjunctions. I am removing not only your cheating paper but also your answer sheet. The equivalent elements being linked are your cheating paper and your answer sheet. They are both noun phrases. It was neither clever nor funny. The equivalent elements being linked are clever and funny. They are both adjectives. Either go home or get lost. The equivalent elements being linked are go home and get lost. They are both imperative verbs. These examples show that correlative conjunctions link equivalent elements. Note, when using correlative conjunctions, make sure the elements behind each one are the same type of word like in the examples above. This is called a parallel structure. Look at these. She is not only enjoying a paid leave but also a pay rise. In this example, the first half of the conjunction is in front of the main verb enjoying and the second half is in front of a noun phrase, a pay rise. It isn't parallel, it's wrong. She is enjoying not only a paid leave but also a pay rise. This enjoying has a parallel structure. She is not only taking a paid leave but also getting a pay rise. This version also has a parallel structure. Subject-verb agreement with correlative conjunctions. When a correlative conjunction links two elements that are the subject of a verb, the verb is singular if both elements are singular. For example, neither the car nor the van is available. Both elements are singular, so the verb is singular. However, things get complicated if one of the elements is plural because there are two rules. The proximity rule. Under this rule, the element nearest the verb determines whether it is singular or plural. For example, neither the car nor the vans are available. The element nearest the verb is plural, so the verb is plural. The logic rule. Under this rule, if any of the elements are plural, the verb is plural. For example, neither the cars nor the van are available. The first element is plural, so the verb is plural. This would be wrong using the proximity rule. Neither nor plays a negative role. Be aware that the pairing neither nor plays a negative role in your sentence. Be careful not to use a double negative. For example, I couldn't use neither the car nor the van. I could use neither the car nor the van. I couldn't use either the car or the van. Interjections. Let's look into it. Interjections are short exclamation like oh, or ah. For example, really is a big name for a little word. Interjections have no real grammatical value, but we use them quite often, usually more in speaking than in writing. When interjections are inserted into a sentence, they exhibit no grammatical connection to the sentence. An interjection is sometimes followed by an exclamation mark when written. Hesitation devices. Interjections like and are also known as hesitation devices. They are particularly common in English. We use them when we are confused what to say or to indicate that we are thinking about our say. Learn to recognize them when you hear them and realize that they have no real meaning. Interjections list. Here is a list of interjections showing the common interjections. Interjection meaning. Example. Ah, showing pleasure. Ah, that feels so good. Showing realization. Ah, now I understand that. Showing resignation. Ah, well, it can't be helped. Showing surprise. Ah, I have won. Alas, showing grief or pity. Alas, she is no more. Dear, showing pity. Oh dear, does it pain you? Showing surprise. Dear me, that's unbelievable. Eh, asking for repetition. It's cold today. Eh, I said it's cold today. Showing inquiry. What do you think of that, eh? Showing surprise. Really? Inviting agreement. Let's go. Showing reluctance. Lhasa is the capital of Tibet. Hello, hello. Showing greeting. Hello, auntie. How are you today? Showing surprise. Hello, my bicycle punctured. Hey, calling for attention. Hey, look at that. Showing surprise, joy. Hey, what a good idea, guys. Hi, greeting. Hi, what's new? Showing hesitation, doubt, or disagreement. I'm not sure. Oh ho, showing surprise. Oh, you are here. Showing pain. Oh, I have got a toothache. Showing pleading. Oh, please don't say no. Ouch, showing pain. Ouch, that pains. Oh, showing hesitation. I don't know the answer to that. Showing agreement. Shall we go? Showing hesitation. What? I'll do there. Well, showing surprise. Well, I never do that. Introducing a remark. Well, what did he say? Determiners. Let's look into it. Words that appear before any descriptive adjective and decide the kind of reference that a noun has. Example, a, and, the, this, each, some, either, my, your, etc. are called determiners. Determiners can be called special adjectives used before nouns. Follow it. You know that the word a, an, and the are called the articles. The words a and an are indefinite articles. They are used with the singular nouns. A is used before nouns that begin with a consonant. An is used before nouns that begin with a vowel. Look at the following example. This is a cucumber. This man is jumping on an egg. My aunt is sitting under an umbrella. This picture contains a pail, a ball, and a pair of sun specs. Note, some vowels have a consonant sound as well as vowel sound. Use the article a with nouns that begin with these vowels. For example, my brother is a university student. Every child in the school wears a uniform. Some words begin with a silent H. Use an with nouns that begin with a silent H, such as every clock has an hour hand. The president was an honor for all of us. The is called the definite article. It is used before a noun when we are talking to someone who already knows which person or thing we mean. For example, Kangna is singing the welcome song. Deepak is studying for the examinations. Who will drive the car? Determiners include the articles a, and, the. Demonstratives this, that, these, those. Possessives as a possessive adjective my, your, his, her, its, our, your, their. Example, the dog barked at the cat. These apples are sour. Their bus was late. Have you seen my keys? We use general determiners to talk about how much stuff or how many people or things we are talking about. More general determiners are quantifiers. A few, a little, all, another, any, both, each, either, enough, every, few, fewer, less, little, many, more, most, much, neither, no, other, several, some. For example, have you got any English books I could borrow? There is enough food to feed everyone. Numbers too act as determiners. They show how many things or people there are. For example, I teach for 3 days a week in a school. Either and neither. Either and neither are used in sentences concerning a possible choice between two items. Either can mean one or the other, of two, or each of two. For example, I have got hot milk and banana shake, so you can have either one or the other. The hall has a door at either end, both. Neither means not the first one and not the second one. For example, neither of the students were attentive. Let's understand. When we are talking about something in general, not a particular thing, we use a noun without an article. We can also use plural nouns without an article. For example, I like children playing games. Trees shed leaves during autumn. Nouns that don't show quantity are normally used without a or an. The article the however may be used with nouns that don't show quantity. For example, a clock measures time. My grandfather reads stories at bedtime. This bag contains a number of things.